Okay, instead of three basic transformation function, we have another special transformation function called piecewise linear transformation function. Okay, this transformation function is just a complementary approach of the existing three transformation function. This is because before we discuss about the advantage and disadvantage, let's go detail about the next slide. Okay, this is the example of piecewise linear transformation function, meaning that you can, it consists of many point over here. Okay, it does not mean you only have two, you can have more. For example, if I draw in this way, example of linear transformation function, I'm sorry, piecewise linear transformation function. Okay, if I draw in this way, 1 2 3 4, meaning that I have 1 point over here, 2.3 point over here. So I have R1 S1, and this one R2 S2, this one is R3 S3. So this coordinate actually it is set by the user manually. Okay, it should be set by the user manually when they want to use this transformation function. So what is the good about this transformation function? It can be used to mimic the behavior of that previous three basic transformation function that we have discussed before. For example, if you go to the, let's say, power law transformation function that we have in this whiteboard here. Okay, let me just draw another one, so it can, so you can get the clearly about picture behind this piecewise linear transformation function. For example, I have my power law transformation function. Okay, for example, this is my power law. Good. Okay, so if I want to mimic the behavior of power law transformation function by using a piecewise linear transformation function, I just set my power law transformation functions in this way. I'm sorry, the linear in this way. Okay, I just draw in this way. Okay, then I have another point here, then I have another point here, then I have another point here. So I have 1 point over here, which will determine by my R1 and S1, which is later can be set when you want to run the coding. Then this one is R2 S2, and this point over here is R3 S3. So by having this piecewise linear transformation function, I can have some characteristic that mimic our power law transformation function in this blue line over here. So what is the advantage of using this one? Okay, of course, the advantage is that, let's say you want to do some image processing in embedded system where you have a very low power processing. Okay, by having a low power processing, of course you cannot process a complex operation such as such as power law, because power law transformation function, if you remember the equation there, involve S is equals C R over with the power to the power of gamma there. So any power operation there, okay, to the power of power operation there actually required a very time high computational time, which is very heavy for low power processor. So if you want to design image processing in embedded system, okay, that kind of operation, instead of using a power law transformation function, one of the alternative, then you can use the piecewise linear transformation function, because the piecewise linear transformation function only required, of course, if you talk about linear, is only just a multiplication. Okay, I think you learn this one in your secondary school. Okay, they call it a piecewise function, where you can develop a piecewise function based on linear or straight line. So it's just y equal to mx plus c. So is the mx plus c, so the one that might be required some heavy operation is the only the multiplication. Okay, so same goes to the log transformation function or logarithmic transformation function. It's very heavy, but you can replace that transformation function by using the piecewise linear transformation function, which is very less power consumption. I'm sorry, less time computational time, and you can process it in real time. Okay, especially if you want to do something that related to image processing in real time. So meaning that piecewise linear transformation function is that a complementary. You can change the form. So by changing the form, you can have a power law transformation function, you can have logarithmic transformation function, as well as identity or negative transformation function. So for identity and negative transformation function, you just put the the coordinate at the straight line there. So still you can have that. Okay, so that is um, the purpose or the advantage of piecewise linear transformation function. So that's why here they put there the advantage that can be arbitrarily complex. Okay, means that it can solve the complexity of the previous one by achieving many transformation function result using a linear function. And but the disadvantage there required more user input. So when you set how many point there, R1, S1, R2, S2, R3, S3, so you need to set it manually, and of course this kind of function required more and more input from the user. Okay, but in this example this is one is a piecewise linear transformation function, but now in this example you only have 2 points there, R1, S1 and R2, S2. Okay, let's discuss about this example. This is some of the example that you are using a piecewise linear transformation function. Okay, you can see that the S1 is equal to 0, R1 is equal to 67, and if you map the transformation function, it's look like this one. I'm sorry, not this one. Okay, this one if not draw, so but if you draw the transformation function, it might be something like this. Again, because we are processing the default image in computer, so the resolution is 8-bit per pixel. So you have from 0 to 255, which is your R. This one is 255, which is your S. And then you have the point where is 0, 67 is around I think around here. Let's say this one is 128. Okay, this one is 67. So the points there is 1 point. This is the first point. And then we have S equal to 255. Let's say, okay, this is your 255. Okay, and then your R2 is equal to 110. This one, the center should be 128. Okay, 110 is around there. Okay, 110. Let's say this is your 110. So if I draw the line of your transformation function, it's something like this. Okay, this is the piecewise linear transformation function that apply from this image. If you see the pictures over here, it seems like your power law transformation function where the gamma is less than 1. So if you go back to our discussion there, okay, if you go back to our discussion here, okay, power law with gamma less than 1, then it will stretch the narrow region of the dark side into wider range of the dark side. So that is the advantage of power law transformation function where the gamma is less than 1. Okay, we want to enhance at the dark region. So that's why if you see in this example, because this one is very dark region, we want to improve on that. So that's why we are set in this way. So now the shape is in this way, which is mimic the power law transformation function where the gamma is less than 1. Okay, so I hope by having this discussion you clear about the piecewise linear transformation function. Okay, before I forget, I just forget in the previous lecture when we discussed about the power law transformation function. Let's go back to power law transformation function slide. Okay, this one. Okay, in this one you can see that previously when we talk about the power law transformation function, any transformation function, we always use the very common formula there, L minus 1. Okay, it depends on the intensity level resolution. If the intensity level resolution is 8 bit per pixel, then it become 255. But here in power law transformation function, okay, this one is only applicable for power law transformation function. Okay, for power law transformation function, this the R that you need to use here is a normalized R. Okay, meaning that let's say okay, when you want to compute a power law transformation function, just remember that you cannot directly apply that numbers. Okay, meaning that the formula should be something like this. Should be C R, I put R head there to represent a normalized R, and then you have gamma. Okay, it's not as expressed in this slide there. Okay, you cannot directly, let's say you have R equal to 100, then you cannot put it here, because you will not get the exact result as what we want in this equation, in this power law transformation function. Actually, the actual formula should be like this. Okay, where the R head here is a normalized R, where it's defined as your R, okay, divide with your L minus 1. Okay, so in other words, for example, if your R equal to 100 and then your C equal to 1, so what is your S? What you need to do, you need to measure, or you need to calculate the R head first. R head is your 100. Okay, if your image is 8 bit per pixel, then your L minus 1 is your 255. Okay, and then once you calculate this one, you get the R head there, then you apply inside this formula S equal to R head gamma. Of course, in the equation, gamma need to be given. Let's say gamma equal to 0.5. So now your R head 0.5 is your S. So of course C have been removed there because C equal to 1. Of course 1 there should not affect anything there. Okay, just remember that this is only applicable for power law transformation function, but for the rest negative transformation function that you have discussed before, you can directly apply the R. If the R is 100, or if the R is equal to 1 to 8 or 50, then you just apply to the formula. Okay, same goes to the power law transformation function. Okay, directly apply the R. But for power law, same goes to the log transformation function. You can directly apply the R values there inside the formula. But for power law, you must use this formula. Okay, the R there is not the direct R, is a normalized R, meaning that the R that divide with the maximum value of that intensity value. If you talk about 8 bit per pixels, the maximum value you can have, which is the white, is 255. So the R must divide with 255. Okay,